Are you taking off that day?
So we're on Yud Dalet, Brachas, Motzei Shabbos. Ubeprokim Shom B'nei HaKavod. In between the parshas of Kriyas Shema, you can even say Shalom Aleichem to a dignitary. Umeishiv Shalom Chol Adam. And if anybody says Shalom Aleichem to you, you can respond. Tanya Mahachi. There's a baraisa to support this halacha. Or actually, this machlokas between Rav Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, which we said we paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. Hakoyre Eshma. Somebody's reading Kriyas Shema. Upago Rabbi or Gadol Amenu, and he meets his Rebbe or somebody who's more nichbad than him. So we said, Biprakim, in between the parshios, Shalom B'nei HaKavod, you can even initiate Shalom Aleichem. Vein Tzarich Lomer Shuv Meishiv. And certainly you could respond if he said Shalom Aleichem to you. Now, Be'emtza, if you're in the middle of Shmona, if you're in the middle of the parshios, not in between, then you can only ask Shalom B'nei Ayira. Let's say there's a mafia guy, that if you didn't ask Shalom Aleichem, your life could be threatened. So you could ask.
Israeli mafia or Italian mafia?
Either one. Vein Tzarich Lomer Shuv Meishiv. And certainly you could respond to him, because it's even worse. It's always a bigger kiddush to ask, to be able to initiate. That's Rav Meir. But Rav Yehuda Omer, Be'emtza Shalom B'nei Ayira, you could start Shalom Aleichem to someone you're afraid of. Umeishiv B'nei HaKavod. Now, if a dignitary who you're not afraid of says Shalom Aleichem to you, you could respond, even Be'emtza. And then Ubeprokim, in between the parshios, you could initiate Shalom B'nei HaKavod, Umeishiv Shalom L'chol Adam. And if any regular person says Shalom Aleichem to you, you can respond. Boy minei Achi Tana Dver Rabchim Rabchia. The brother of the person who organized the various Mishnayos in front of Rabbi Chia asked a question of Rabbi Chia. Behalel u'v'megillah ma'u sheyafsik. So we've been dealing with Kriyas Shema. Could you be mafsik? Now we want to know, what about Hallel? Right? Because Hallel has the same thing. It has prokim. So there's Emtza prokim and there's Beina prokim. And Megillah Esther. You're laning within the Megillah and you have Beina prokim. There's 11 prokim, 12 prokim in Megillah Esther. Maushi Yafsik. Now, if you see a letter surrounded by parentheses, so we see a little letter Aleph, correct? You go down to the Bach, Hagaos HaBach, he makes an emendation, says, Mao Sheyafsik, mi amrinan, because there's a word me missing. So he puts the me in there. He makes sure we know, mi amrinan, do we say, Kal v'chomer Kriyas Shema d'oraisa posek. If we could, this is a structure of a kal v'chomer. That means a kal v'chomer works. That means if you show something that is more strict, and yet the halacha is like that, so something that's more lenient, alachas kam v'kamel, certainly it's going to work. So that's even in a logical construct. In Aristotelian logic, the a priori kind of kal v'chomer is used. So Kriyas Shema, we know, is a doraisa dikidin. It's not the rabbanon. It says you shall read b'shach b'chov kumecha. We've already learned Kriyas Shema is doraisa. Posek, we've already established halacha that what? You can be mafsik. Halal de rabbanon. Halal that is only rabbinic. Maboy, would there be any shaila that we could be mafsik? Certainly. O dilma, or perhaps, maybe not. Persume nisa odiv. Hallel, and of course, reading the Megillah, in Masechta Megillah, it says, Kriyasa zu halalisa. For example, we don't say Hallel on Purim. We say Hallel on Chanukah. But the davening on Purim, there's no Hallel. The Gemara asks in Masechta Megillah, well, why no Hallel? The reading of the Megillah serves the place as the Hallel. And the reading of the Megillah, just like lighting Chanukah lech on Chanukah, is for Persume Nisas, to spread the word of the Nes. So reading the Megillah publicly fulfills a kiyum of Persume Nisa.
So why they shouldn't have Hallel in Chanukah either?
Why?
We do have Hallel.
We shouldn't then, because the Adlokas Ner is the Persume Nisa.
Oh.
Shouldn't that be substitution for
It's
Halal?
not. Remember, Hanukkah has multiple issues. There's the Nes Hashemen, and then there's the victory over the Greeks. So you could say each one goes for each. Now, the other reason why it's quoted, also because the Nes of Hanukkah happened in Eretz Yisrael, which is why you get a Hallel. Purim, which didn't happen in Eretz Yisrael, you don't get a formal Hallel. Okay, that's what we'll have that later on as well. But the Gemara's Havami question is, maybe Pursume Nisa, when you're doing something because of publishing the Nes, maybe that's more important even than a Doraisa. Maybe we would say, no, you can't be mafsik. Amalei, poisek v'mekach klum. No, you're allowed to be mafsik, and there's not a problem. Amar Rabba, yamim shayachid goymer b'henes ha'halel. So he says it depends. Gentlemen, we have days where we say full Hallel. So for example, 8 days of Sukkot, right? There's 7 days plus Shmini Atzeres, it's 8 days.
First and last days of
First 2 days,
Pesach.
well, it's really only 1 day in Eretz Yisrael, right? It's really 1 day, right? We do 2 days, second day is like the 1 day. Shavuos, right? And then you have the 8 days of Chanukah. So it's Yud Ches Yomim Goymer Mesahallel. Those are, now, there are days, as you know, where we're not Goymer the Hallel. We don't finish the Hallel. For example, Rosh Chodesh. We don't say Lo Lanu. We don't say those smaller prokim. Okay. So technically, that's not a day where we're Goymer. And then the last days of Pesach falls on, and we say Hallel on those days because Mineg Avosenu B'Yadenu. And there's a machlokas whether or not we say a bracha for such a Hallel. In fact, Minag Sfard, if you look at the Shulchan Aruch, the Marana Shulchan Aruch, the Mechaber, who the Sfardim follow, say we don't make a bracha. And therefore, if you go into a Sephardic shul, they won't say a bracha for Hallel on Rosh Chodesh. We Ashkenazim follow the Ramah, where we do say bracha on Hallel even for a minag. So the Gemara is not going to use this distinction. Yomim shayachid gomer ben Hallel. So bein perak leperak poisik. So in between the prokims, like you finish the first perak before you start B'tzeis Yisrael Mitzrayim, you'd be able to be mafsik. Be'emtza perak ain't posik. But if you're in the middle of one of the prokim, you can't be mafsik. Now, Yomim she'ena yachid gomer ben Hallel, like Rosh Chodesh, or like the last days of Pesach, afilu be'emtza perak poisik. So it's a lesser madrega. Even if you were in the middle of one of the prokim, you could be mafsik. Or it says, Eini, it's not so. Rav Bar Shva ikul gabid Ravina. Rav Shva visited Ravina. And it was a day, Yom she'ena yochid gomer Hallel. And it was Rosh Chodesh day, where they didn't finish the Hallel. V'lo pasuk lei. And he noticed that he was not mafsik. So, Shani Rav Bar Shva, lo choshev alei Ravina. He was not considered a dignitary as it relates. Remember, the only mafsik we said, if somebody who's more nichbad than you comes and says Shalom Aleichem. So in relationship to Ravina, he was not as great. So that it wasn't the reason that there was no reason to be mafsik at all, because he didn't meet the criteria to be mafsik. Boy minei Ashiyan Tana Deve Ravami Ravami. Ashiyan, who was the one who laid out the various pieces of Tanaitic literature from Ravami, he asked the following question from Ravami. Hashoyer b'tanis ma'u shiyita machila v'shasiya. Let's say you're in a fast, and you want to taste something. You're going to spit it out. You're not going to swallow it. Are you allowed to taste something, either food or drink? Do we say when a person was makabel a personal tinus? We're talking about a case, not a tinus tzibur, that the whole tzibur. They were going to see is a whole different din. We're talking about a person maybe was saved from something and he decided, or he had a chalom, a certain type of chalom, that a certain kind of dream where you would want to have a tinus. Let's say it was a bad dream. So perhaps when the person was makabel tinus, he was only makabel not to eat or drink. But for example, he did not makabel, for example, not to taste something. Maybe what is makabel is not to have any pleasure from any kind of food or drink. And putting something in your mouth gives you pleasure. So he answered, he said, you're allowed to taste. As long as you spit it out, you don't swallow it, you can have te'ima. No, we're not talking about it. We're talking about
Yes, but you spit it out. You
No,
just
because
taste it.
chatzi shir also ben Torah means anything that is prohibited min Torah. So even a chatzi shir is prohibited, and chatzi shir means even a mashu doesn't mean half the shir. This is something normally permitted. So there was a pilpul here. Is it eating and drinking, or was it hana? So he answered, when you accept a tinus, you accept only eating and drinking. You didn't accept upon yourself not to have any hana. Therefore, putting something in your mouth would be permitted according to Ravami. And in fact, Tanya Namahaki, we found a baraisa in support of this. Matemes eino te'una bracha. So there's another question. Let's say you put something in your mouth like that just to taste, and you're going to spit it out. Do you make a bracha or not? So the baraisa says your tasting doesn't require a bracha. Vashoyri betanis toyim ve'mikach klum. And if you're in a tinus, you're allowed to taste something, and it's not a problem. Now, ad kama, what does this mean? How much of a shir are you allowed to take? Ravami Ravasi, tame ad shir revi'isa. As long as it was less than revi'is, and you spit it out. Good. Amrav. Kol hanoisen shalom chavero, kodem sheyispalel. If you see your friend, and you haven't davened in yet, and you say shalom aleichem, it's not appropriate. It's ki'ilu asa ubama. It's like you built a bama. A bama was a mizbeach when they came into Eretz Yisrael. So for the first 14 years, 7 years they battled, 7 years they divided under Yoshua. During those 14 years, there was a bama gedola in Gilgal, where, for example, they would bring their korban pesach, a chatas, and an arsham could only be brought to the big public bama. But in your backyard, you could build your own mizbeach. It was called the bama ketana, and you could offer an ola and shlamim on such a mizbeach. Now, once the Mishkan was established in Gilgal in year 14, so then the bamas were prohibited. You were not allowed to have a private bama. The Mishkan stood for 369 years. Then the Plishtim destroyed it. Then there was 57 years where it was in Nov Ira Kohanim for 13 years, and then 44 years in the city of Givon, until Shlomo Melech built Bayit Rishon. In those 57 years, the bamas were permitted again. And there was a bama gedola in either Nov or Givon, where you brought the Korban Pesach, you brought the Chatas or Nasha. And Olas and Shlomim you could bring in your private bama. Then, when Shlomo Melech built the Beis HaMikdash, you couldn't bring bamas, and bamas are prohibited forever. So this Gemara is saying...
Why did Bamas end after the destruction of the second temple?
No, so once the second temple, there's no... The Shechina was Nistalek, and not, so we're not... So we stopped bringing korbanos in the Beis HaMikdash, and certainly once, because it says, Lo bala menucha velanachla. It's a pasuk. Once it comes to Yerushalayim, then you never had bamas again. We're talking about after the first Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. Even when they came back, there were no bamas anymore. Once you established it in Yerushalayim, in Mishkan Shiloh, which was a temporary place for the Mishkan, then there was a heter to have a bama after that existed. But once the Beis HaMikdash was built in Yerushalayim, there was never a heter again by bamas. Okay, now. There's already in the last 150 years, the Kaftar Vaferach, he was a great Zionist leader, the son-in-law of Rabbi Kiva Eger, wrote already a sefer, the Kaftar Vaferach, where it evaluates, could we bring korbanos bizman hazeh? For example, normally we're all tamei, so how can you stand in the Beis HaMikdash if we're tamei? We don't have the parah aduma to be metayrus. But there's one korban that you could bring even though you're tamei, the korban pesach. If greater than 50% of Klal Yisrael are tamei, so tuma hutra b'tzibur. So he made a whole diyun that since now we even know the Makam HaMizbeach, there have been archaeological drawings of the Beis HaMikdash. We know where the Kodesh Kodashim is. We know where the Mizbeach is. So you may not necessarily physically need a Mizbeach to offer a korban. So there are all the sorts of debates again in this Kafta Vaferach. What about the big Day Kahuna? What about the Chilazon? You need Tchelas to make the big Day Kahuna. Do we really have the Chilazon? So there are all sorts of arguments against this, but it was Rabbi Kiva Eger wrote a Haskama on this Sefer. So the concept even bring korbanos bisman hazeh, but that's in the Beis HaMikdash itself. We have no heter to build a private bama and do it. But here, the Gemara is using something homiletic. The Gemara is saying, if I am supposed to daven, and I didn't daven to Hashem yet, and I say Shalom Aleichem to my friend, it's as if I made him a bama. Shneamar, Chidu lachem min ha'adam, asher neshama ba'apo, ki bameh nechshavhu. Right? Don't stay away from an adam who only has a neshama, because but it's the word in the pasuk there in Yeshaya is bameh, and the Chazal say al tikra bameh el bama. Don't read it bameh, read it bama. This is we have many times where it says al tikra halichos el halachos. Right? We change the sort of the reading of the word to fit into our medrash. Ushmul Amar. Shmuel says how did you consider this person and not Hashem? That means you were willing to say Shalom Aleichem to your friend before you went to daven. Mosif Rav Sheshes asks a question. It says Beprokim, right? By Kriya Shema, which is before Tefillah, Shoel b'Me'akov, Umeshiv. You were allowed to say Shalom Aleichem to your friend. I thought you told me you shouldn't say Shalom Aleichem. Tefillah means Shmona Esrei. Well, Kriya Shema was read before Shmona Esrei. How can you say Shalom Aleichem? Tirgma Ravaba b'mashkim lepischo. We're talking about a case where it was even before he got to shul. He met him in the road. If you meet somebody, if you meet somebody in the road and he asks Shalom Aleichem, you're allowed to answer there. If you do your own private business, you go on your computer, you sell some stock. Before you daven, it's as if you built a bama. Amalei bama, what? Like built a bama? Amalei lo aser kamina. I say it's prohibited to do. Idi baravin. Person shouldn't do any sort of his own private work before he davens. Here the word yispalel means shmona esrei, before tefillah. Shneimar, tzedek lefonav yahalech, v'yasem l'derech pamav. First, provide the tzedek you have to do before Hashem, then you can go on your road. Kol hamispalel. Just the opposite, you're going to get a reward. Whoever davens and then goes on his way to do business, Hashem's going to make sure that you're going to be successful in your business. Same pasuk. Hashem will make sure that the steps that you take will be fulfilling. Now, Rav Yoina, Rav Zera, because we've quoted this Amoira, Rav Yoina, a number of times, we're going to continue to say Divrei Torah in the name of Rav Zera. Kol alon shivas yamim below chalom nekra ra. If you sleep 7 days in a row and you have no dream,
Wow.
you must be an evil person. Shenamar, v'sheva yolin bal yipoked ra. Excuse me, v'saveya yolin bal yipoked ra. Al tikrat saveya ela sheva. They changed it from being satiated to 7. Because if you sleep for 7 days without being answered, the bal yipoked means presenting yourself in a chalam, it seems that's the siman ra. The lon, whoever fills himself up with Torah and then goes to sleep, ein mevasrin oso besuros ros. He will not have bad news told to him. It's a protection against bad news. Shneimar, same pasuk. V'saveya yolin. That means here it actually means the word saveya. You go to sleep satiated. But it doesn't mean satiated with food. It means satiated with Torah. Then by Yipoked Ra, he will not be called upon, with bad tidings. Now, Elohim ben Aprakim, Amr Rav Rav Yechon, Halach Rabbi Yehuda. What's the halach like Rabbi Yehuda? The Amar, Bein Elokeichem le'emes v'yotziv lo yifsok. Now, when we finish Hashem Elokeichem emes, so you can't be mafsik between Elokeichem and emes. Amr Rav Rav Yechon, my time at Rabbi Yehuda. Why? D'chsiv Hashem Elohim emes. Because there's a pasuk that's written like that. So since there's a pasuk, it's a different pasuk, Right? In Shema, it doesn't say Hashem Lokechem emes. It says Ani Hashem Lokechem. Finished. We add emes v'yotzi v'nachon, but there's another pasuk which is read Hashem Elokim emes. Since it's comparable to Hashem Lokechem emes, we don't mafsik. Now, choizer v'oimer emes, o eino choizer v'oimer emes. Let's say he didn't say Hashem Elokeichem. Let's say he didn't finish with Hashem Elokeichem. And you remember now. Do you repeat the MS when you start the MS for Yotziv or not? Amar v'amar v'yichlin choizer v'oimer MS. Yes, you can start again MS for Yotziv. Rabba oimer eina choizer v'oimer MS. You don't. Ahu denachas kamei de Rabba. Someone went down to be the Baltfil in front of Rabba. We're on Yudal Amid Beis on the top. Ahu denachas kamei de Rabba Shmaya. Shmaya Rabba de Amar MS Trezimni. He said Hashem Lokechem MS, and then he started again MS for Yotziv. Amar Rabba call MS for MS Tafsilai. It's not a good thing. It's like almost like we're davening to two Rishuyos. It's like saying that there's two beings that are MS. Shouldn't repeat it. This is a very beautiful word. Ami Barava Arvis in Eretz Yisrael when they daven Ma'ariv, it says Daber Bnei Yisrael v'Marta Leim Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes. They would shorten the parsha of tzitzis. Why? Because tzitzis says Uri'isem oso. You shall see the tzitzis. At night we can see the tzitzis. So he said you have a reason to shorten the parsha of tzitzis. What kind of nice divatory is this? Lo Yaschil. He said that you shouldn't even start the parsha, but Vim Yischil going there. But if you're going to start it, you should finish it properly. Because maybe it just says Daber Bnei Yisrael. He didn't say V'amarta Leim. Maybe that Lo Havi Haschola, it's not considered a Haschola. That's not correct. Daber Bnei Yisrael Lo Havi Haschola. V'amarta Leim Havi Haschola. So you should not start. If you're going to start already, you have to finish. Amrav Papik Safim Marava. V'amarta Leim Nami Lo Havi Haschola. In Eretz Yisrael, where they didn't finish, they also thought that Amarta Leim is not Haschola. It's until you said the words Vasulahem Tzitzis, it was not a Haschola. So for them, it was not a problem. It's only if you're maskil and not finish that it's a problem. But they never were not maskil because they never said Vasulahem Tzitzis. They just said Daber Bnei Yisrael Amarta Leim, and they finished Ani Hashem Lokechem Emes. However, Omer Abaya Hilkach Anan Aschuli Maschalinon. We who start to come Maschali Marava came with Aschalinon Migber Nami Gaminon. We start, and therefore we finish the whole parsha. That's why our minig is to say, even at night, by Ma'ariv, we say that we follow Abaya. Period. So even though the union of tzitzis is not operative at night, we say the parsha of tzitzis. Okay. Chibarav Omar Ani Hashem Lokechem Tzorich Loimar Emes. If you said Ani Hashem Lokechem, you need to finish off with Emes. Lo Omar Ani Hashem Lokechem. If you didn't say Ani Hashem Lokechem, let's say you finished before that, Eino Tzorich Loimar Emes. You don't have to say Emes. Which seems to imply, the Gemara says, you don't have to say that whole parsha. The Gemara, what do you mean? In the MS V'Yotziv, and then as we continue that whole parsha until Ezra Savoseinu, there's a lot of discussion of Yitzis Mitzrayim, and it's important because we are Soymech Geula L'Tfila, and part of the Smichas Geula L'Tfila involves Yitzis Mitzrayim. So the Gemara says, the Omar Hachi, they added a little tefillah. We don't have this tefillah. But if you didn't say Ani Hashem Elokeichem, and you didn't want to say the whole last parsha, you could say, Moedim anachnu lecha, Hashem Elokeinu, she'otzeisanu me'eretz Mitzrayim, uftitzanu beis avadim, v'asina lanu nisim ugvaros alayam v'shanu loch. Okay. We don't have this minig, but that was the minig in the Gemara. Av Mishra ben Korcha, lama kidbel parsha shma. So Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha, when we went through, why is the order of Kriya Shema, B'havta, Vayam Shamoa, and then so he said, first you have to be Makabel all Malchus Shamayim, that's Shema, then you're makabel all mitzvahs. That's the Vayam Shema. That was Rav Yeshua ben Korcha's reason. However, now we're going to be exposed to a different svara. Tanya, Rav Shimon Yochai Omer, Bidinu sheyagdim shema lavayam shema. Really, it's me'ikra din that the shema should go before the vahaya. Why? Shazel lilmod, v'zel lamed. It says, it says lilmod by the vahafta, and in the vahaya it says lilamed. So to teach. Well, you have to learn before you teach. So it makes sense that the vahafta is read before the vahaya. Right? And it makes sense, Vayam Shema Levayomer, Shazel Lilmod V'zel Lasos. Now, what's the parsha of tzitzis? It's actually Vasulayim tzitzis. Do this mitzvah. The Vayam Shema is to be makabel all mitzvahs. So again, first you makabel the yoke of mitzvahs, and then the actual tzivui of doing a mitzvah is in Vayomer. So that's Rav Shimon ben Yochai. He gives a different reason for the order. Freik the Gemara, Otu Shma Lilmod Ispei Lalamed Velasos Lesbei? What do you tell me? In the Vahafta, there's only Lilmod and Lalamed and Laasos not. It says, V'aksi Vishinantem Levanecha. What does Vishinantem Levanecha means? You shall teach your children. And then it also says, Ukshartem Le'osa Yadecha, Uchsavtam Al Mezuzos Beisecha Visharecha. Right? So it says teaching and doing mitzvahs. Visu, says the Gemara. Vaya im shemot lelamedu de ispei v'lasos lesbei. What? Vayam shemot is only to teach and to do is not. V'haksiv ukshartem uchsaftem there as well. So Rav Shimon ben Yochai doesn't seem to make sense. Ella hachi kamar. This is really what Rav Shimon ben Yochai wanted to say. Bidinu shetigdim shema levayam shemot. It's midin that we should say shema before vayam. Shazel lilmod ulalamed v'lasos. Right? The Gemara stands this whole limud on its head. That Vahafta has the trifecta, all three issues, to learn, to teach, and to do. The Vayayim Shamoa, it should be done before Levayomer. Shezeh Yeshbo Lelamed Vilasos. In the Parsha of Vayayim Shamoa, it talks about Lelamed to teach and to do. And Vayomer Ein Ba Elalasos Pilpah. And Vayomer, there's only Vasulayim Tzitzis. There's no Lilmod, there's no Lelamed. So it's three in front of two, in front of one. Freik the Gemara of a Tepuk Lemid Rabbi Shua ben Korcha. What happened to Rabbi Shua ben Korcha's reasoning? Where we said Shema is because of Ol Malchus Shemayim. So the Gemara answers, Choda v'od kamar. We get one answer, we give you another answer. Choda k'dei shikabel av Ol Malchus Shemayim tchil v'achar k'kabel av Ol mitzvahs. At first you should be makabel the yoke of heaven, and then you're makabel the mitzvahs. And you have also, secondly, you have these other reasons of Rav Shimon ben Yochai. Okay. Rav Moshe Yodei, Rav would wash his hands, the Korah Kriya Shema, and read Kriya Shema, the Anich Tefillin. See the Bach, see the Aleph, see, look on the right side, it goes to Bach, the Anich Tefillin, Umatzli. Matzli means to daven Kriya Shema, right? So he didn't like the word Utzli, he changed it to Umatzli and daven. So the Gemara, that seemed to be the order of Rav in the morning. The Gemara asks, Heichi Ovid Hachi. How did he do that? Vatanya. Hachoifer kuch lemeis bekever. A person is digging in a cave because they're going to bury somebody in the cave. They used to bury in caves, not just in the ground. Potter mikriya shema uminat tefillah uminat tefillin. He's oisik b'mitzvah, so he's potter b'kriya shema. He's potter from Shmon Esrei. He's potter mit tefillin.
This is the child?
No, the person who's bearing. There's a person who's the grave digger. He has a person in his family that he's burying. So while he's oisik in the midst of burial, he's potter in other mitzvahs.
In his family.
Let's say he's the one who has to bury the person because it's a relative. He's the only one who can do it. So ha'oisik b'mitzvah, potter mi-mitzvah.
Wasn't he an onen until he buries the body?
Yeah, but
It's not necessarily.
yeah, I mean, let's say he's been
Not a
hired
close
to be the.
relative,
yeah.
Yeah, let's say it's not a. If he's an oinen, he's anachanami potter as well. Before the burial, you're correct. The first, or some say it's just the first day. We hold it until the burial. You're an oinen. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody who's oisik in the burial. So he's oisik in the mitzvah of kvura. He's potter in these mitzvahs. We call mitzvahs omas patur. Now, he gives man kriyas shema. Now, once the time of kriyas shema comes, oile, so he leaves the cave. V'noitel yodov, and washes hands. Umeiniach tefillin, then puts on tefillin. The koire kriyas shema is palal. So we see what the problem is. Rav, let's go back to what Rav did. Rav washed his hands, read kriyas shema, and then put on tefillin. But the brisa we just quoted is he should first put on tefillin and then say kriyas shema. So first the Gemara says hagufa kasha. There's something internally wrong. Reisha Amar Potter v'Sefer Chayev. First, what do you mean? Once Kriyas Shema came, if he's oisik b'mitzvah, who cares about Zman Kriyas Shema coming? He's Potter b'mitzvah. What are you talking about? That he should leave the burial and do the Kriyas Shema? You just told me he's Potter. Haloi kasha, Seifa betray. The Seifa where it said he can now leave. It's talking about there are two people there. No, there's two people there. So one person continues the digging, one person goes out when it's time of Kriyas Shema to do Kriyas Shema.
This is before Sofsman or
Yeah, before Sofsman. Let's say they realize Sofsman is coming, so one of them leaves, does it, then he comes back and he spells the other guy and they both can do it. But they're allowed to do that when there's two of them. Bechad, you can't. If there's only one person, you're potter, and even if Zman Kriyas Shema leaves, that's it. Potter mi mitzvah, ha'oisik b'mitzvah, potter mi mitzvah, and he's okay.
The question is if he could say it afterward. Is there if the
No, we're talking about Zman is
No,
leaving.
I know, but if the digging can be postponed or must be talked about, cannot be postponed, has to be done right away. As if they can delay it for an hour while he says Mishma.
Must be a reason that they can't delay it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Still, mikol mokum kasha l'rav. Now, once we resolve that problem, it's still a problem because the previous statement of Rav said that he read Kriyas Shema before he put on tefillin, and the second brayso says no, you put on tefillin first, then read Kriyas Shema. So Rav Rav Yishuv ben Korcha svirle. Rav held like the Rav Yishuv ben Korcha. The Omar, all malchos shemaim tchila v'achar kol mitzvahs. Remember, Kriyas Shema is accepting the yoke of heaven. Putting on tefillin is mitzvahs. So he held like that svar of Yishuv ben Korcha, that first you have to have all malchos shemayim, and then you do mitzvahs. So, Eimer dam Rabbi Yishuv ben Korcha lehigdim kriya lekriya. Rabbi Yishuv ben Korcha gave us those reasons. That was, why should you read the parsha V'hafta before V'haya and the V'haya before Vayomer? But kriya la'asiyah mishamisle. But he never gave us that svara to say that reading should take place before the asiyas of the mitzvah. You can't use that svara. V'su. And another problem, me, Sarvalak Rabbi Yishuv ben Korcha, you want to get out of this problem by saying that Rav holds like Rabbi Yishuv ben Korcha. The Gemara is not going to show us that he can't hold like Rabbi Yishuv ben Korcha. There were times where we were in front of Rav. Umagdim umashi yodei. He would wash his hands umavorech. Right, he would make the birchas netilas yadayim. Umasalon pirka. Or he would probably make Birchas Torah as well. He would teach us the Seder Hayom, whatever he was the Pirkon means, whatever parak he was going to teach us in Limud. And then Monach Tefillin, and Rav put on Tefillin, V'hoda Kori Kriyas Shema. So how can you tell me the story of Rav was that he read Kriyas Shema, then put on Tefillin? Here we have testimony, just in Yeshiva, Rav would put on Kriyas Shema before Rav would put on Tefillin before Kriyas Shema. Now, maybe you'll answer me, maybe the reason he did that, because the Zman Kriyas Shema not arrived yet. Im Kain, my Asada said Rav Chia Barashi. Well, then what's the witnessing? Rav Chia Barashi telling us that story. La'afuke mimando Omar that the Mishnah ain't tzarich levarich. No, the reason he quoted, and maybe it was to say, because Pirkon meant a Mishnah, and there was a shita that before you learn Mishnah, you don't need to make Berachas Torah. So they wanted to quote that statement of Rav to teach me that Kamash Malon, the Afla Mishnah tzarich levarich, that you have to read Berachas Torah before you learn Mishnah. Mikol makom kasha. What is this? How do we have a steer between Rav that first put on tefillin, then read Kriyat Shema versus the other case? The Rav shluchahu de avis. Hashaliach kilkel. Oh, it was just a case. He didn't have his tefillin. His tefillin was being brought by a shaliach from his home, and the time where he read Kriyat Shema before he put on his tefillin is because the guy who brought his tefillin came late. So he would miss out Kriyat Shema. So he read Kriyat Shema, then he put on tefillin. But in a normal setting, he would put his tefillin on before he read Kriyat Shema. Amar Ula. Kol hakoyer Kriyat Shema below tefillin. Whoever reads Kriyat Shema below tefillin, ki ilu made edu sheker b'atzmo. Because what does it say in Shema? Ukshartem la'osla yadecha. So you're going to read Kriyat Shema, not have tefillin on, so it's like you're a liar. So you must have tefillin on when you say Kriyat Shema.
What about Myron then?
Yeah, at night when you don't go.
Okay, so that comes into the debate. So first of all, there were people who wore tefillin all day,
Right.
and there is a debate: is Lila zman tefillin? Lila lav zman tefillin. We actually hold that Lila is zman tefillin because it's not a mitzvah sasesha zman grama, because the issue is whether noshim are chayiv in tefillin. So it comes if you look in the Mishnah Berurah that we hold Lila is zman tefillin, so it's not a mitzvah sasesha zman grama. It's not tied to time. Really, women are mechuyev in tefillin. It's just they can't keep a guf naki. Now we can't keep a guf naki either, but we have a chiyuv of davening. So in those 30 minutes that we daven, they say we can keep a guf naki. Since they don't have a chiyuv of tefillin, that's really what comes out of it there. So probably there were people, they did wear tefillin when they said Kriyat Shema, and those people were wearing tefillin the whole day. We're not used to that, but that l'chora was the minhag. Let's go weiter. Ki'ilu. So if let's say somebody says Kriyat Shema without wearing tefillin, it's ki'ilu hikriv oila b'loy mincha v'zerach b'lo nesachim. So when we brought a korban ola, we brought a minchas nesachim, right? We brought a korban with flour and oil and wine. They were like a dessert with the meat. So it's like you brought a half a korban. Rav Yochanan, aroitza shekabel av malchus shamayim shlema. Now you want to be makabel malchus shamayim. We're not going to Daf Tesvav.
Stop it and
Yeah,
start.
yeah.